Labels, when they liberate you and when they limit you. Welcome to your daily hit of grace and grit, your quick dose of inspiration to kickstart your day. This show is proudly sponsored by Rumble and Rise. To find out more about joining Rumble and Rise, head on over to graceandgrit.com/ready to rumble. I'm Courtney Townley, and here is today's hit. There's a moment in everyone's growth journey where a label sneaks in and starts to shift the way that you think about yourself and the way that you see yourself. Sometimes labels can be really helpful. They give language to experiences that we couldn't name before. They create an understanding. They sometimes can offer direction for next steps, and they can even be a doorway for helping us to find support that we need to navigate life with more ease and grace. But labels can also become cages if you aren't paying attention. I often hear women say things like, I'm a sugar addict. I'm an emotional eater. I'm just lazy. I'm not a morning person. I'm anxious. I'm a procrastinator. And these labels, they feel factual, even responsible, like you're just telling the truth of who you are. But sometimes what feels like truth is really just a pattern you've practiced or rehearsed so many times that it starts masquerading as your identity. And there's danger in that. When a label becomes who you are, instead of something you're experiencing, your brain stops looking for change and starts looking for confirmation of that label. I'm a sugar addict can easily become, so of course I can't control myself around sugar, which becomes the justification for the very behavior you're trying to shift. It feels honest, but it also quietly removes your agency. Even like a diagnosis or a descriptor of some kind is not the same thing as your identity. Your nervous system, your history, your beliefs, your habits, they shape patterns, yes. But patterns are not who you are. They are not your destiny, and they absolutely can be changed. Labels become harmful when they do any of the following. They shame you instead of inform you. They limit you instead of guide you. They predict your behavior instead of helping you to understand it. They give you an excuse instead of give you direction for action. They freeze your identity instead of expanding it. Helpful labels point you towards solutions. Harmful labels lock you into stories that don't leave room for your evolution. So here's a way to check which one you're dealing with. Does this label help me to grow? Or does it encourage me to give up, not even try? I struggle with sugar right now is very different from I'm a sugar addict. One is an observation, the other is a verdict. I'm dealing with anxiety is different from I'm an anxious person. One is a state, one is a definition. I'm learning consistency is different from I just can't stick with anything. One opens possibility, the other closes it. Labels should describe a moment, not define who you are. You're not your diagnosis. You are not your coping mechanisms. You are not your past behavior. You are not the version of yourself you developed under stress. You are a dynamic, adaptable human being with a brain wired for change at every age and in every chapter of your life. So today, I want you to just pay attention to the way that you label yourself. I want you to listen for labels that you casually attach to yourself. Notice where they shrink you. Notice where they excuse you. Notice where they remove your agency or your dignity. And then ask yourself, what's more accurate, more compassionate, more empowering than this, right? How can I describe what I'm experiencing? Instead of I'm a sugar addict, maybe I'm relearning my relationship with sugar. Instead of I'm inconsistent, maybe try I'm practicing showing up more often. Instead of this is just who I am, maybe try this is who I've been and I'm allowing myself to evolve. Because you can't grow into the woman you're becoming while clinging to labels meant for a past version of you or even a version of you that doesn't exist, right? Or a version that's trying to keep you in the past, because I think that's often what labels do. They stunt our growth. You get to choose the language that liberates you instead of language that limits you. If this stirred something inside of you, imagine what a whole book of clarity and courage could ignite. The Consistency Code, a midlife woman's guide to deep health and happiness, goes even deeper into the mindset and practices that create real, meaningful change at midlife. Grab your copy today over at theconsistencycode.com and keep the momentum alive.